The other thing I want to bring up is travel, because like I've been traveling a lot, and this is why this took forever to like get a second one out. But there are some things with travel that need to be optimized or something, because they're just getting more weird the more I'm taking these flights at different times. So one is just people's awareness of the situation. So
Okay.
I have a couple things where it's been bugging me, because it's happened like a few times where one, I had a seat where it was empty, right? It was just me. I was like, cool, sweet, whole row by myself. And then some dude, obviously he was sitting in the middle, and then he sit in of the seat and of another row, and then he moved to my row, which I was like, fine, he's probably just gonna move to the end seat. No, he sat right next to me. And I'm like, how do you what?
Well,
So I was like,
don't know if you need to optimize travel. You just need to.
but this
get rid of
this
that dude.
only happens like on like red eye flights. So like red eye flights are like the weirdest thing. Like people like before the plane is on the track, they'll start walking up to make it to the front, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Maybe he's lonely.
Well, I mean, for him, he said that he couldn't sleep unless someone was right next to him. And I was like, dude, you were in between two people. He's like, yeah, but I needed the leg room. I'm like, but now I don't have leg room, dude.
So did it like he lay on your chest too? And
Oh my God.
you rocked him to sleep?
But in that same flight, people started walking up early, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, wait till this thing is, and wait your freaking turn, because I'm trying to get out too.
Maybe late at night or early in the morning, people just think they can get away with whatever they want.
It was weird, because I feel like it was like the cheap buses that you take to New York, like
Yeah, anything.
it was
can
just like a
happen.
different type of person that took
Right.
that red eye.
Right.
It's probably because it's the cheapest one, but like, yeah, they take that red eye. But the other thing that happened that I feel like maybe it's my fault is because like, especially in DC, I'll walk, have my headphones in, like headphones, like not just earbuds, like
Oh, yeah.
P7s, like very, I have headphones on, like every tourist, they will tap me on my shoulder and ask me something about the city, which I don't know anything about it, but I will look around and zero people have headphones on. Zero people are on the phone, and I'm like, you could have asked anybody. Well, why did you stop me?
Yeah. I mean, I think you just got to pretend like you can't hear him.
So I asked people in DC, I was like, yo, what's up with this? Because this happens a lot. And they're like, dude, you have too friendly of a face. And I was like, I don't even know what my face is like when I'm communicating or when I'm commuting.
You're
What?
a friendly looking guy.
But I was like, I need to get my RBF face up. Got that. I need to get that resting bitch face up. Because it happens in Boston too. And I'm like, what? Dude, like literally no one, you could ask anybody that is not zoned out. I'm totally zoned out.
No, so what you gotta do, or what I do is, if I'm on the train or at the bus station or wherever out in public, I try to sense, if I'm paying attention, like what's going on, who those possible people are who could disturb me. Like, you'll see that dude, he'll be like homeless dude, or maybe not homeless, but whatever. And he's about to ask somebody for something. And you can see him out there. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you can see him out the corner of your eye. You hear him, like, usually they start making a lot of noise before they ask somebody something. They're going to, like, start singing. They're going to start telling some jokes that aren't really that funny. And then they're going to come in with their ask. At some point, they're asking for something. So at that point, you either got to turn your back on them, look real mean, act like you're busy, or just get real mean with them. Like I got mean with the dude, because I was on the phone. I had my headphones in. I was on the phone. I was talking. He started talking loud. Here he comes in my direction. I thought he was just going to ignore me. I was doing all my normal tricks, all the things I've learned to leave me alone. He still kept talking to me. So the next thing I do is I ignore. Like, I can hear him through the headphones, but I still ignore him. But he just kept going. So then I rarely go to this one, but I got me. Dude, don't you hear me on the phone? I had to get mean with him. And then he backed off a little bit. He might have said something, but then after I got kind of aggressive, I kind of walked away.
You gave him a shoulder.
Don't you hear me, dude? I'm on the phone.
This is a game?
I'm not playing with you. But then you know what he did? He started talking to the little old lady that was right there, like asking her for whatever he wanted.
Did you stick up for her? Don't talk to her either.
I should have, but I thought she was gonna stick up for herself. Like,
Did
hey,
she?
no, she was talking to him. I don't know. Maybe she gave him something. I don't know, but I don't know. It's hard. Certain people are so aggressive. There's no getting away from them.
But I feel like you know that threshold, and you're better about expressing it than me. Like I will go beyond my threshold, because this always goes back to that one time when we had a roommate, and she had like a boy that would stay over, and we were like, okay, you just moved in, whatever. Like, you have a boyfriend. Until we realized it wasn't her boyfriend really. It was just some dude.
I mean,
And then I'm going to continue on this story.
okay.
And this dude, I wasn't there. I think I was upstairs. But basically what happened, this dude comes down and he starts cooking breakfast.
Oh my God.
And then he comes up to Jason and is like, hey man, so I was wondering if I could get one of the bills so I could say that I live here and I can get a parking spot on the south end. And then your response was?
What did I say?
You were like, yeah, let's talk about this.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about what's fair.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about what's equal.
Well, I think now you made me remember that, like, because this is one of those situations where somebody's pushing the limits. Mm-hmm. Always. It's like it's like it's like Dave Chappelle or something when what's his name kept stepping on Eddie Murphy's couch.
Oh yeah.
Like, at a certain point you got to say something. You got to do something. So this dude was the worst. He was the worst. But you know, out of respect for our roommate, you know, I didn't say anything to him. You stuck, because you dealt with it more than I did, because I think I was still traveling. Oh, okay. Yeah. But like, out of respect, like, okay, you know, she's dating someone, like, give him a little leeway, even though I don't like everything that he's doing, but I kept the stuff in my head, like, okay,
that little mental bank.
Yeah, at some point we may have to have a discussion. So, you know, if it's like 7, 8 in the morning, you know, I'm hanging out downstairs, I just finished eating or whatever it is, and this dude the dude never came and said hello to me or introduced himself to us or anything. He just basically started living at the house. So when he came down and started cooking breakfast as if it was his house, I was like, okay, this is interesting. But I just recorded that again. So I had stuff to talk about, but I just didn't know if now was the right time. But then when he asked me, but then that's not how he did it either. What he said, it was like after he was like in the middle of cooking breakfast or something in our house, he was like, you know what I've been thinking, like, you know, me and Cassie have been spending a lot of time together and I'm over here a lot, and I just think it would be a lot easier if, like, maybe you guys put me on one of the bills or something like that.
Oh wait, he didn't live in the city, did he?
No, he lived outside.
Oh shit.
That way, like, I can have parking and so I said, now is the time to have this conversation.
Oh, because I remember, because this dude would be in the shower sometimes and we're trying to use it, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, he would overtake the shower often. So I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Like, now's a good time to talk about it. So we commenced to talking about everything. And yeah, I mean, it's the gift and the curse. I don't necessarily have an issue with confrontation, and especially when I'm fed up with certain things. So yeah, I try to hold myself back a little bit from it. At least now I do. But yeah, I think it's good. Sometimes you have to, because some people got that personality. They're just gonna keep trying you until you stand up. So until you stand up, you're never gonna know how they react.
I gotta work on my J dot.
Hey, just check them real quick, see what they do. I mean, they'll probably leave you alone. That'll probably be what happens.
He left us alone. Then he left
I
our
never
home.
saw him again.
Then he
I
left
never
our
saw him
home.
again, so I feel like I won.
You did win.
And if Cassie didn't, obviously she didn't like him that much. Like, I didn't want to mess up her relationship, but no, dude, you're not moving in. I mean, unless you're paying rent.
we all won from the valor of your actions.
Yeah, I think she's happier.
She's definitely happier.
I think she's happier. So yeah, somebody had to do it. Somebody had to say something. He was. Yeah, I was just thinking like, yeah, I mean, maybe I should get put on a bill. It'll be much easier for me to park and. What, dude? I don't know you.
He tried to slow roll in. That's terrible.
No, that's how they do them.
Oh, speaking of relationships, we did have this one question.
Oh,
This came up with. You were talking with one of your girls or something.
I was talking to an ex-girlfriend, not one of my girls.
Not one of your girls, but I mean, like, I could say like.
I'm not R. Kelly.
No, I mean, like, I could say that like Steph and Shuba are my girls, but they're like homegirls.
One of my homegirls. Yeah, I was talking to one of my homegirls. Shout out M Mac. M Mac, what up?
She wanted to make this podcast about her. I vetoed that.
Yeah, we couldn't have that. But M Mac did have some good insights. So here's the question. So this also goes back to one of my other boys, Marcus Magruder. Shout out Art of Fitness. If you're ever in Mooresville, North Carolina, and you want to get a good workout, go to the Art of Fitness. But he's on vacation.
Hype man right here.
Yeah, he's on vacation right now in Miami. He has his girlfriend with him. But the question is, how would you feel, or would you feel comfortable with your girlfriend or significant other going on vacation to Miami with their friends by themselves?
Okay.
So like for you, would you say you're dating a girl? How do you feel
about her
going to Miami, a girls trip to Miami, say a bachelorette party to Miami?
I think there are a few different factors that go into this. So like one is like, what's the state of you guys' relationship right now? So if you're pretty stable and you're pretty confident in it, you're self-actualized and you're very confident, I think that's fair, because I think that means you guys are communicating enough and you trust each other enough to do so. Second one, it depends on the type of girl. Even though you might have that, the girl might be different. Like, so I have like XYZ relationships in my life, and I can easily pick which ones I would be like, that's probably fine. Hell no. Hell no.
But if you're dating the type of girl where you're like, I don't know what she would do if she goes to Miami by herself. And that's the thing.
I mean, those are the dumb things, where those are the relationships that I regret.
You got to look at yourself.
Like, yeah, those are the things that like, yo, I made a fucking stupid mistake. I dealt with this shit. I mean, I'm sure that these people have like, you know, grown up and whatever, but like, those are the relationships that means that we did not communicate, or I did not instill enough trust in her, or you know, there are just other things underlying there that I couldn't solve that. But like, I think otherwise, I think it's healthy for girls and guys to have their separate time.
Of course.
Because I feel like there's other times where we've had friends that are just like that. They're just like all together in their shit all the time, and they, like, as much as they love it and they have all this time together, they do get frustrated. They get, you know, they feel like they can't pursue their own activities. They can't see their friends. It's a little suffocating.
But here's a question though. I think everybody needs their own space and their own time, or times with their friends. But is Miami the best place for that alone time?
I mean, if you really trust them,
or Vegas or wherever.
Yeah, if you really trust them, that shouldn't matter. Like, if it's like situational, there's still some things.
Yeah, the trust. If you don't trust your girl, or guy or whatever, that if you don't trust them, there's a deeper issue.
Yeah, and I think it's different if like they go and then they're gone and they don't talk about it. But if you communicate enough,
I think in Mac brought up good points, like, what is the status of the relationship? Even if you guys are in a good place now, has there been infidelity in the past?
Exactly. So if there's history or some things that will unresolved.
If they were that girl or guy that you would not trust in a place like that because they're going ham, but now they've matured. Now are you like, fuck, like, could they slip back up? You know what I'm saying?
If there's history, I could understand that.
So there's a lot of gray area.
There is. I mean, I think that's like that's something that you sit down and talk about.
I feel like if you're going to go to Miami, Vegas, whatever, you should probably go together. But I don't know, for bachelor parties and
yeah, like that shit is gonna happen. So I feel like you have to have that conversation at some point.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, look, if you're married to someone, or if you're with someone for a long time, there's gonna be some times when y'all not together. Like, and there's gonna be some times where there's temptation.
Oh,
like,
for sure.
if you're not cool with that, you might not need to be married or in that type of relationship. Like, you gotta be able to trust it. But another interesting thing, I don't want to give MMAC too much credit, but she was saying that you can help build that trust, right? So depending on the stage of relationship you guys are in, you know, she was like, okay, even if my man was going to a strip club, if he called me or texted me right before, like, hey babe, I'm walking in here, just want to let you know that I love you, like, you know, that you're special to me, whatever it may be, that would go a long way. And every woman is different, every person is different, so there's different things that make them comfortable. But I do think that most women, they just want to know, they want you to show how much you care, so that builds that trust. And it may be different early on in the relationship versus when you're in your 40s and 50s or whatever. They may know, like, oh, he ain't doing nothing. He loves me, you know what I'm saying? When you're in your 20s and even 30s nowadays, like, they may need you to show it to them.
Yep.
You know?
And I think that's the actions are, they have to just follow up with whatever is said, but you have to have the ability to have, like, establish that rapport. It's like something you earn, right? It's the same thing with the kids, right?
Right.
When we were talking about that, like, you earn the ability to have some more freedom.
Yeah.
And like all that stuff, but like for relationships, it's the same way. You earn that trust and you earn that ability to have those boys' days,
right,
or girls' days, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, my last couple of relationships, I wouldn't even be worried about them. I don't think. You don't think? You think so?
Yes.
I would be.
I feel like you should have been. You should be.
I should be.
The last couple of relationships?
Yeah. That's what you're talking
about? Yeah.
I mean, we can beep it out, but latest?
Yeah. I feel like well, latest for sure. Like, there's insecurity there from just past. And then other girl, she wanted to, like, live in your pocket.
No, I'm saying I wouldn't be worried about them.
Oh. Okay. I thought you said those girls would not be worried about.
Oh, no, I don't know how. Yeah.
No, I think those girls understood, like, what you were for sure. Yeah.
Wait, now I'm confused.
I don't think that they would worry about you.
Oh, okay. I was saying that I would.
Sorry. You wouldn't worry about them.
Right, but you're saying
they would worry about you.
Me. Yeah, maybe you're right, but that's.
I gotta beep. God, now I gotta do edits, dude. This is gonna be supposed to be simple. I'm not with edit.
Well, this is a whole nother thing, because I think that let's just keep it real. Because of the way that I've done things, you know, for a long time, you know, they probably had reason.
I don't think that, like, especially latest, they don't have it. There's no.
They
reason.
Never, yeah.
Like, latest didn't have any reason.
But issues in her past.
Yeah, exactly. They have some stuff on their side,
and a lot of people have it. We all have it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all these situations, there's almost no right answer. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you got to kind of figure it out as you go. But if it's important to you, you want to make that look. Right now, I'm at the point in my life where, you know, if somebody's special to me, I that's more important to me than Tootsies. Even though Tootsies is fun, I know that somebody real in your life is way more important. Yeah. So that is more important. So I'm gonna make sure that they know that that's more important. Even to me, like, it's kind of lame, I guess, but even to me, if there's like, yo, I'm not comfortable with you doing it, I don't think I would do it, or at least I would slow down with it. You know what I'm saying?
Figure out a
we
compromise.
Would have a talk. We would, you know what I mean?
Talk.
Like, I would respect that.
So like we have a mutual friend, like, in New York, probably don't want to call her out, but you know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
And she's like a really attractive Asian girl. And she's had all these things, like she's had a lot of instances where that happens because, you know, she's going to wedding season, she's going on vacation with friends, she values her girl relationships. But it's not the fact that there's any reason for her dudes to doubt her. It's
Right.
just because those dudes had
Insecurities.
Those dudes like were not certain about it, or they might have just thought that she was better than them.
Right.
But the thing is, like, there was no rationale behind it.
Right.
Like, from my perspective, I wouldn't be worried about it. But, like, I understand where they're coming from, but also the fact that it's probably more internal to them than whatever she's exuding.
Right. I mean, I think... So I respect insecurity because I think we all have insecurities of some sort.
Oh, for sure.
And they manifest themselves in different ways. What I think...
They bring the ugly out of people.
What I think we have to do, both men and women, is put our feelings in the proper perspective, right? Like, sometimes we blow things out of proportion.
True.
That doesn't have anything to do with the other person. So it's okay that I'm insecure, but you know what? This has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with me. Maybe I have to grow up a little bit. And I think that's where the problem comes. When we get insecure and then we have to have it our way, like, then what happens is, especially with women, you turn them off. Nobody wants to be around that person who's questioning them all the time because they're insecure, you know?
Very true.
And I don't know, but it's a hard thing. We all have emotions and stuff. But one thing that I learned when I was out there doing dirt and all that is that the stuff that... So
many years ago, guys.
Yeah, this is a while back. But say I was dating a girl and I was dating... Oh, you're about to turn that... Say I was dating a girl. Should I just keep going?
Yeah, keep talking.
If I was dating a girl and I was dating like 3 girls at the same time, say one girl was insecure about certain things, or she was like, man, you're cheating on me, you're doing this, you're doing that. I always noticed that the stuff that they were worried about was the stuff that I wasn't even doing. And the stuff that they were never even asking about, that was the stuff, that was the dirt I was really doing. So my point is, like, while you're worried about all this stuff, while you're like questioning this person, telling them they can't go here, they can't do this, they can't do that, half the time it's got nothing to do with what actually might be going on. So now I'm old now, but like, if I don't trust that person, or if I'm questioning what they're doing, where they at, all that, you know what? We don't need to be together, or we need to like figure something out. Something is wrong with our relationship. So now I'm at a different point. You know what I'm saying? So to our homegirl in New York, like, if you're dating people and they're questioning you every time you go away and different things like that, I think y'all gotta understand, you gotta question the relationship. Now, that being said, I do think there has to be responsibility on both ends.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to be with someone, and I'm not necessarily trying to beat her up because I don't know all the situation, but if you want to be with someone and they let you know, this happened in a recent relationship with me, and they let you know, hey, this kind of makes me uncomfortable. Like, hey, can we do something about this?
Yeah.
And you keep doing the same thing, you got to ask yourself if you really want to be with that person. Because if you want to be with them and you keep doing the same thing that's obviously making them uncomfortable, you can only expect, like, there's going to be some reaction after some time.
Yeah.
So there's a little... This is why relationships are so hard. It takes a lot of communication, sacrifice, working together.
I mean, I think that's not even just like love relationships, but just people relationships.
Just people in general, man.
I mean, that goes back to the whole thing we were talking about in the last podcast, which was like a whole like flight, fight, freeze.
Exactly.
And you get different levels of communication for all those. But generally, if you want to fight me, I would totally be down, because like at least you're communicating with me. If you're running, we can't talk about anything. Things aren't going to progress. And if you're freezing, you're probably already dead.
Yeah, running is the worst for me. I guess I don't know what freezing would be in a relationship, but
Freezing is just you don't do anything.
right,
You just like
like
let it go through the motions,
just
or
denial maybe.
it's denial. It's letting like going through the motions and just like nothing changing. It's like freeze is hard because in those relationships, the person that is observing, so like the person that like is not actually doing the running or fleeing, might not know anything's wrong.
Right.
If someone's running, you know that okay, they're sad or they're hurting, and I probably have to run after them, or we need to reevaluate everything. If they're fighting you. Yeah, if they're fighting you, then at least you know that they're communicating and being upfront. But if they're freezing, you might not know. You might just be in the dark.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there should be some sense. There should be some sense of that something is wrong. Hopefully.
But if they never say anything, how do you know?
Maybe you just feel it. I mean, my you know, they say, what is it? That's that 90% of communication is nonverbal.
I mean, that's true, but what if they like, I'm trying to think of it. Like, what if they don't like show it? Like, they really just try to hide their emotions and try, like, you know, like they fake.
Yeah, it
like,
could be
like the
if
false
they're
positivity.
fake. Yeah, I mean, if they're being fake, you got major issues. You got major issues, man.
Like, if there's that false positivity, I feel like that's hard to manage.
Right.
Because then it's like they're just like trying to make the best out of it, but not really saying anything. It's like when you fight and you forget to have the important conversations because you'd rather not fight. You're not running away. You're still in that relationship.
Yeah.
But you're like, hey, it's all right. It'll work out in the end.
Well, I guess I don't have as much, and this may be going back to our earlier point. This may be, if you're talking about some of your experiences, this may be go back to some of the differences in our personality, because I'm definitely more like my mom taught me the old biblical thing, like if you're mad or something, I can't even remember the verse, I should be ashamed, but like you don't go to bed mad at your partner, you know? So that's kind of, and you know my personality as far as confrontation, so I'm definitely more like, yo, let's talk about this, let's work this out, which sometimes has worked well and sometimes hasn't. But I don't know, I rarely, or I can't think of a time right now where I've been like, oh, everything is, it seems like everything is good, or we avoid major topics.
Well, I mean, I think for me, it necessarily hasn't been me. Like, I would rather communicate. I'm a social guy. I'm extroverted. But it's a two-way street, right? Sometimes the person doesn't want to talk about it, or they don't bring it up. So then it just bottles up until they want to either fight, flight, or freeze. Or fight or flight.
Right.
So it's a two-way street to get the communication, which that's been my thing, my frustration in some relationships. Mm-hmm. But, like, I understand, like, you're yeah, for sure, like, you would want to cut that communication. And I think I value that for certain.
Yeah,
but sometimes you can't
make people.
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing I'm reminded of every day in life. You know, you can't make people do anything, and that's as simple as talking or confronting fears, insecurities, relationships, uncomfortable things.
It has to come on their own. I mean, we saw that with our friend recently, right? Like, it took a while for her to get there, and we took that approach of like, hey, we'll help you when you're ready, and not approach her every day. But she did reach out, and things are, I feel like things are better for not just us, but also for her. She's in a different place. She's more aware of what she needs and how she can be helped.
And this is getting into my opinions, but this is where I think, I want to hedge a little bit when I say this, but this is where I think marriage or commitment if done the right way, can be beneficial to a relationship, right? Because, and what I mean is,
Well, I mean, of course it would be.
because look, well, yeah, but but I don't want to say that all marriages are good or if they just stick it out. But what I'm saying is, sometimes people need their space.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if I'm married to a woman, there's nothing I can do to, help her get past a certain thing in her life, or there's nothing she can do to help me make different decisions in my life. Only thing you can do is let them know, hey, I care about you, I love you, I'm here for you. Maybe our relationship changes, for a period of time, maybe. But the thing about marriage or the commitment is maybe our relationship changes, but I'm always here.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we can't talk about this now, but we will talk about it. Or maybe we can't address it, or we can't fix this now, but we will. And I get worried now, because now I feel like we just say, like, screw it. Like, you deal with that, I'm gonna deal with my thing, and we both go our separate ways. And I wonder, like, at some point, I think you gotta stick it out. Like, nobody's perfect. Everybody's dealing with all types of things that happened in their past and all this type of thing. But, like, at some point, I feel like you gotta say, you know what, we're gonna do this.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this. It's just such an intricate thing, because we talked last time about, sometimes stepping away from friends and relationships and things of that nature.
Yeah.
But maybe I do believe in just, maybe I'm too optimistic, but I do believe in, like, trying, like, let's make sure this ain't working. Like,
I mean, there's always, the try is always the thing that should happen. Like, when you're just letting it go, or
right.
like hoping things get better without actually doing any sort of action towards it, or just say pretty things to make it feel better, but not actually do anything to make it feel better, then you're just going to have the same cycle repeat itself rather than get further in it, right?
Right.
Like, that's like, we get over these hurdles to develop our relationship and ourselves as a people. It's the same thing, like, adversity is what builds our character, not the happy times.
Right.
In fact, happy times can make us weaker because we get so complacent.
Right.
So yeah, it's just all of that.
Yeah, it's a tough, man, we're getting into these tough questions from, like, the Bill Cosby and all that type of stuff.
90 proof alcohol.
To like, when do the tough things about the relationship make the relationship stronger, versus when are they just bad things that you might need to just leave that person alone?
Yeah.
I mean, and every relationship is different. Every relationship has its own story. But those are I definitely think those are, at the very least, questions that need to be answered. And I think, from my experience as of late, a lot of people just want, even grown people still want everything to be a fairy tale. And it's human nature, because we all want that. We all grew up wanting that, but
yeah.
We got to be willing to look life in the face and say, hey, this is what life really is. Mm-hmm. and then decide how we want to live it, because it's not going to be like a Disney movie all the time, unfortunately.
No. Most people have messy histories, but that's what in the end will make them beautiful, right? Like, they have an interesting, unique story of where they got to, not just we met in high school and it was perfect. He had a Jeep, I loved it. And oh my God, in prom.
No, it ain't like that.
No,
this is real life.
Real life, real people,
real
life. Old. But man, okay, I think I was checking this. I think we need to wrap up within 5.
Okay, let's do it.
I don't know how we wrap up. I feel like we need to say something more positive. We got down like this relationship.
Oh, got down.
I don't know how to end this. Do you have anything you need to promote? Because I do.
All right. Well, you go first. I think of something.
Cool. The stuff I need to promote is not me, but I have a friend named Rodrigo Alonso, and he's probably one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in Boston, and he has a big fight coming up on the 12th, I believe, for a fight to win 44. It is going to be at, I was just texting him, so he should tell me. Hangouts? Yes. It will be at the Reggie Lewis Center. And tickets are on sale at fighttowin.com. You should go out and support him. He's awesome. He's always an entertainer, and he finishes fights. God damn it.
Did we talk about fights? Did we talk about the?
We talked about Mayweather, McGregor.
Okay.
I mean, we could talk like next time. We can talk about like how that's probably changing the promotion game a little bit, but
right,
it would be a long conversation.
There's a couple more things going on. There's a fight and stuff.
Yeah.
For me,
BNI.
Well, yeah, I can promote BNI. So Volt knows I started a BNI chapter. If you don't know what BNI is, go to I think it's just bni.com, or you can go to bnimass.com. It's a networking and referral group. I was able to start one in Boston Seaport. If you're interested in business at all, if you're interested in growing your business, it's a great place to do it. We got a great group of people. And biggest thing for me, if you're interested in any of this stuff, just follow me on social media. Instagram is where I'm doing the most stuff right now. J.Carter, WFU.
I'll throw it up above his head.
And just follow me on that, and you'll find out all the rest of the cool stuff I do. That's all I got.
Cool. I'm trying to think if there's another thing I wanted to say. Oh, in terms of reviews, things coming up are headphone reviews. Best headphones under 150 for Bluetooth. I have a set of speakers I need to review that I'm super behind on. And we also have this cool business interview with a yoga and lifestyle specialist in the Seaport.
So to piggyback on that, one other thing that we'll do on this channel or another, or my channel,
or on
both, is start doing interviews of local business owners, local businesses, restaurants, maybe combine them all.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll start seeing that from us. So check out our updates in the future. So in my day job, I'm a real estate agent here in Boston. And part of what I'm doing, there's no one really giving you guys an up-close and personal look of what living in Boston is like, especially if you're not from here. So there's a ton of businesses, a ton of restaurants, a ton of cool things going on. We both want to kind of bring you into that world and give you an up-close and personal view of that. So look out for that in the future. So you'll see us doing that stuff, and you'll see me, and Volt might be involved in some of it, running around to different properties and different apartments.
I'm gonna take pictures of him and make him look really good.
Like that. Yeah, we're gonna do some cool stuff. Just try to keep it entertaining, try to keep it fun, and also, if you guys have any topics that you want to hear or you'd like us to discuss, we're all for it.
Yeah, especially because we sit there in the first 10 minutes before this trying to figure shit out. Sometimes successful.
Yeah.
Many times not.
Yeah. So just we're doing this for fun, but we hope that people enjoy it. Give us your feedback. Do you love it? You hate it? Either way, your feedback is all love for us. So tell us what you think. Share it with somebody if you think it's interesting, or even if you think it sucks. And
cool. So I think that wraps it up. There'll be an end card with links to our social and our other videos. Yeah, man. Thanks for sticking it out for 2 hours again? I'll probably split this up. I'll split this up. But yeah, thanks, guys. Peace.
Baby, I'm calling out to